At 7 million square kilometers, it spans 8 countries and could swallow the United Kingdom 28 times over. The Amazon River basin is so vast, looking at it from above feels like staring out across an endless, impenetrable ocean of green. This chart illustrates a glaring gap in our scientific catalog. While we rely on this forest to pump out roughly 20% of Earth's oxygen, we have only identified a tiny fraction of the life that produces it. 90% of the plant, animal, and microbial species living here remain completely unknown to science. To understand how much is hiding in that blind spot, you have to bypass the sprawling canopy and zoom all the way down to a single leaf in the Peruvian jungle in 2013. A chemistry student stumbled onto a microscopic structure straight out of science fiction. It was a tiny silken cone, perfectly barricaded by a circular webbed fence. Researchers soon discovered it was an elaborate trap, constructed by an entirely undocumented species of spider to catch passing dust mites so its hatching baby would have an immediate meal. A microscopic organism had been engineering these flawless biological fortresses for thousands of years, entirely unnoticed by human eyes until a decade ago. If we are still discovering complex architecture on a single leaf, the scale of what remains hidden in the remaining 2 million square miles of uncharted wilderness is staggering. Scaling up from the microscopic reveals that the canopy is thick enough to hide entire living human populations from the modern world. Today, dozens of indigenous tribes survive deep in the interior, operating with zero connection to civilization. We usually only catch glimpses of these groups under dire circumstances. The Puricura tribe, living in western Brazil, once numbered in the thousands. But after decades of violent clashes with illegal mining cartels, recent aerial surveys suggest their population is reduced to just 15 to 20 survivors. These isolated groups aren't recent refugees hiding from modern industry. Their lineage traces back to a time when this landscape looked completely different. In 2017, an archaeological team excavating the jungles of Colombia made a discovery pushing the human timeline of the Amazon back to the last ice age. They unearthed 13 kilometers of 12,000-year-old rock art depicting early hunters. Look closely at the animals beside them, distinct shapes of mastodons and giant sloths. This proves this dense jungle was once an open savanna where ancient humans hunted Ice Age beasts. The dense Amazon rainforest that we see today grew right over the top of those ancient hunting grounds. The basin is effectively a massive 12,000-year-old graveyard of human history, obscured entirely by thick vegetation. If human beings thrived in this region for over 10 millennia, it raises an obvious question: why haven't we found large-scale ruins? European explorers spent centuries convinced those ruins existed. In 1925, a British explorer named Percy Fawcett led his final expedition into the Mato Grosso state of Brazil, hunting for a massive, advanced settlement he called the City of Gold, or El Dorado. Fawcett walked into the jungle and was never seen again. Fawcett and others like him failed because they were looking for European-style stone cities standing proudly against the horizon. The hyper-aggressive growth cycle of the rainforest buries structures almost as quickly as they are built, turning stone walls into moss-covered mounds in decades. Today, scientists peel back that canopy digitally. Flying LiDAR scanners over the jungle, they shoot lasers through leaves to map the ground below. They are finding exactly what Fawcett sought: sprawling, geometric foundations of ancient settlements, interconnected by complex road networks. El Dorado was never a fairy tale about a king bathing in a gold dust. It was a massive, highly organized civilization that existed right up until the relentless power of the rainforest swallowed it whole. Even today, the biological machinery of the jungle regularly produces anomalies that leave modern science completely baffled. Take Marajó Island in northern Brazil in the winter of 2019. Search teams investigating the forest interior stumbled across a 10-ton baby humpback whale lying dead in the undergrowth, miles inland from the ocean's shore. This contradicted everything biologists know. Humpback whales migrate south to Antarctica months earlier. They shouldn't be anywhere near the Amazon in February. Autopsies showed no signs of predation, no physical trauma from a boat, and zero logical explanation how a massive marine mammal navigated the river delta and ended up stranded deep in thick jungle foliage. A 10-ton ocean leviathan ending up on the forest floor is a glaring reminder of our own ignorance. If this ecosystem can silently erase ancient cities and inexplicably displace massive whales, it is clearly operating by natural laws we have yet to grasp. Microscopic engineering on a single leaf, 12,000 years of buried history, and marine giants in the brush, these are pieces of a single immense puzzle. The Amazon serves as Earth's largest active vault of biological and anthropological data, holding genetic blueprints for potential medicines and the lost chapters of human history beneath its soil. But that data is being systematically destroyed. Industrial deforestation and illegal mining cartels are clearing tens of thousands of square miles of canopy, replacing ancient, complex ecosystems with ash and empty cattle pastures. The greatest tragedy of the Amazon is not the list of scientific mysteries it refuses to give up. It is the terrifying reality that we are burning down the planet's greatest historical archive, and we are doing it before we even learn how to read it.